What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to TTB Ravens Media, bringing you Ravens content every single day. Now, if you want to see that daily Ravens content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. And tomorrow will actually be the return of the Trust the Bank podcast, so make sure to come back tomorrow. I'll have Joshua on. It'll be a lot of fun. But, today, NFL world, big news today. Big-time trade between the Dolphins and the 49ers, then the Dolphins and the Eagles, and it got me thinking about a trade that I had heard about a while ago. And I completely forgot about it when I made my, possible wide receiver trades that the Ravens can make video. And I was like, I have to talk about it because I'm going to say this right now. I think it's the best trade that the Ravens can make. Better than Allen Robinson, better than Mike Williams, better than, I don't know, anybody else, DJ Chark or whatever, or Michael Gallup. This is the best one. And it's trading Orlando Brown Jr. And potentially like a fourth-round pick for DeVante Parker and maybe Miami's second-round pick or something like that. But now let's get into kind of why, because a lot of people would look at this, just on paper, and they'd be like, there's no way that the Dolphins would want Orlando Brown Jr. You look at their left tackle right now, they selected Austin Jackson, 18th overall last year. He's playing left tackle for them at a USC. He was a very good prospect. He allowed 4 sacks, had 5 penalties, but obviously he was a rookie last year. It's very difficult to come in and be a rookie playing in the NFL, especially at the tackle position. And then you look at the right tackle, Robert Hunt, last year, second-round pick 39 out of Louisiana Lafayette. But what I'll bring up about Robert Hunt is Robert Hunt was a guard in college. He really played all over the line, but the Draft Network actually had him projected as his best fit would be the guard position. He allowed 3 sacks and had 8 penalties. And, okay, so they kind of have tackles. But, if you switch Robert Hunt to right guard, which is what he played in college, and left guard, he played everything. But you switch him to guard. Okay, so you have a tackle position open. It's on the right side. And you're like, there's still the problem. Orlando Brown wants to be a left tackle. That's what he, was claiming. I want to be a left tackle. But why does he want to be a left tackle? His dad wanted him to play the premium position on the offensive line, correct? He wanted to make the money, that type of thing. Be better than me. That's basically what he told Orlando Brown. And he was like, okay, that's his goal. I want to be on the position that makes the most money. Miami, that's right tackle. They have a left-handed quarterback, meaning that the right side is the blind side, meaning that's more important. Now, if Orlando Brown still says, no, I don't want to play that premium side of the position, even though his dad just wanted him to play on the blind side, which is almost always the left side because almost all quarterbacks are right-handed, well, now it's the right side, so he'd be able to play it. But even if he's like, no, I got to play left tackle. A big thing about Austin Jackson when he was drafted was if the Dolphins would shift him to the right tackle spot, and they did not. But if they brought in Orlando Brown, one of them could play right tackle. And obviously Orlando Brown has a ton of experience at right tackle, and he also has good experience at the left tackle. So he'd be able to play either. And I think he'd absolutely be willing to play right tackle because he's still fitting in the nature of what his dad wanted, which was to play the premium position that makes the big money. And that's right tackle for a team with the left-handed quarterback. So that's kind of why he would at least be able to go there at that premium position. The other thing is the Dolphins obviously traded pick number 3 to San Francisco. They traded with Philadelphia to get pick number 6. And you look at where they're going to pick at 6. You look at the top 3 guys. I'm assuming top 3 will all be quarterbacks. Then you have Cincinnati, you have Atlanta. Where are they going to go with their picks? I'm going to assume one of them is going to take Penei Sewell, and then the other will likely take Kyle. I'm assuming the Bengals will take Penei Sewell, and then I'm going to assume that the Falcons are going to take Kyle Pitts. I just think that's a really smart move for them. They need a tight end. They've got the quarterback's likely going to be gone, but maybe they take quarterback. I guess they could go like Trey Lance, or if Justin Fields falls or something like that, they could go there. So there's still one guy available. The guy that was mocked to Miami at pick number 3, Jamar Chase. Jamar Chase is the clear wide receiver 1 in this draft. Pretty much every single scout has him as like far and away the best wide receiver in the class, followed by most typically Waddle and then Devontae Smith. But Jamar Chase, wide receiver 1 right there. Okay, so if they draft Jamar Chase, wide receiver 1, how much do they really need DeVante Parker? Yes, they have Tua and a young player, but like Tua was not like a huge DeVante Parker advocate. Not saying like he wasn't outspoken for him, but more in the sense that like he wasn't taking advantage of DeVante Parker. Tua does not like to throw jump balls. He doesn't like to do that type of thing. The things that DeVante Parker excels at, Tua is not the type of guy to throw it. Ryan Fitzpatrick, oh yeah, gunslinger all the way. So he'd be willing to do that. So they'd be able to get to a young wide receiver one for him to work with and grow together with. And I think that would be the move. So they could be willing to part with DeVante Parker. Okay, so now let's get into DeVante Parker. Who is he? How good is he? Why he fit on the Ravens and why the Ravens would want him. DeVante Parker, 6'3", 4.45 40-yard dash. So very good size, decent speed. Misses a few games every now and then, but he is an excellent jump ball wide receiver. He's not as good as Mike Williams, but he's up there. He's probably in the, I'll say the 90th percentile. So he's better than 90% of good wide receivers at the jump ball. And he's had one 1,000-yard season in his career, which was 2019. He had 1,200 yards and 9 touchdowns. But like I said, last year, he was dealing with one of the most intriguing quarterback scenarios maybe in the history of football. Because on the one hand, you've got, Fitzmagic, who will literally go out and just sling that rock like he's Brett Favre, like he's Joe Namath. He's going to go out there and he's going to try and win you the game or he's going to lose you the game. So he's going to sling it to you. He'll chuck it up to, DeVante Parker, and he is completely fine with that. But then there's Tua. Tua's like, if you don't have 5 yards of separation, I will not throw the football. He's so overly conservative. I mean, that's why they would take Tua out at the end of some games to allow Ryan Fitzpatrick to come in, because Tua's just extremely conservative. And yes, it's kind of a knock on Tua, but I'm not saying it's like something that's horrible. Just saying that it's not going to be something that benefits your wide receivers. I mean, you can look at, some wide receivers like, Mike Evans. When he's playing with Jameis Winston, he gets a ton of jump ball opportunities. When he's playing with Tom Brady, he gets a couple. It's definitely less. So playing with a gunslinger, it helps your stats. And when you're playing with somebody more conservative, and Tua is way more conservative than Brady. Brady will still rip it if need be. Playing with a guy that's more conservative is going to be significantly less appealing for wide receiver statistics because, you're just not going to get that many opportunities when you're, not some crazy route runner or anything like that. No, you're a big-bodied possession jump ball wide receiver. So he's not going to have those great stats. But with Ryan Fitzpatrick, he's able to do it. So he's the exact type of wide receiver that the Ravens need. I talk about it all the time. The Ravens don't need a small, fast guy. We didn't need T.Y. Hilton because every wide receiver would be under 6 foot except for obviously Miles Boykin. But come on, it's Miles Boykin. So we need a guy that will be able to be willing and has proven that he can do it against, NFL caliber cornerbacks. And DeVante Parker is that guy. He can be that guy that the Ravens could send down the field to throw a jump ball to, and he'll be able to make that pass. And I'm not saying throw a jump ball 50 yards down the field. I'm saying, 25 yards down the field. Lamar Jackson throws a fade because he can do it. We've seen him do it with Hollywood. And Hollywood doesn't even make the jump ball catch. Lamar just throws a perfect back shoulder to Hollywood. Look at the game-winning throw against the Arizona Cardinals in week 2 of 2019. Lamar Jackson can make those types of throws. He just doesn't have the wide receivers in a position to where they'd be able to make the catches. Maybe that's Greg Roman. Maybe that's, the play schemes and things like that. They don't give them the opportunities to do it. But if they brought in DeVante Parker, I can almost guarantee that they would do it. He'd be an Anquan Bolden type of player, a little bit faster than Anquan Bolden, probably not as secure hands as Anquan Bolden. Anquan Bolden is, he's a Baltimore legend. But he would be similar to the type of role that Anquan had. And I think that would be absolutely beneficial to what the Ravens need. And so you look at what his contract is. He's making a little bit less than $10 million per year through 2023. And I'm going to say it right now, I think it's a better move than signing Sammy Watkins. Sammy Watkins would probably be getting around $10 to $11 million a year. If you look at what the Ravens offered to Juju, Sammy's going to want the same thing. So would you want Sammy Watkins, who's more injury prone? It doesn't have the jump ball skills that DeVante Parker has, or would you rather go with DeVante Parker, who, is proven to be a very good jump ball wide receiver, and just hasn't been given, the opportunity with, not as good quarterback play. Personally, for me, I would absolutely go with DeVante Parker. I think that the Ravens should definitely try and at least call. Eric DeCosta should call the Dolphins GM just to see, hey, we got Orlando Brown, and obviously they'd have to talk with Orlando Brown and be like, hey, would you play right tackle for a left-handed quarterback? It's the premium position on the offensive line. I think he'd be okay with that. The issue is DeVante Parker is under contract, so he would be more valuable to the Dolphins. So I think that the Ravens would probably have to give up maybe a third-round pick in Orlando Brown, and they'd get DeVante Parker. And I think that the Ravens could get back the Dolphins' second-round pick, which was from the Texans, so it's actually a pretty good second-round pick. I would not expect whatsoever to get, pick number 18 or whatever the Dolphins have. I think that would be too much. But overall, those are kind of my thoughts on this DeVante Parker trade. I'm sorry I forgot it in my other video, but I'm kind of glad I got to do it on its separate video because, I think this is the best one. Let me know down in the comments what your thoughts are on this possible trade scenario. If you think Orlando Brown would be willing to make that move. If there's another trade that you think could happen, I haven't talked about Michael Gallup trades at all or anything like that. But, Trust the Bank podcast coming back tomorrow. Make sure to subscribe to see daily Ravens content. Like the video if you like the video, obviously. Thank you all, and I'll see you all again tomorrow.